Ooh, I have more than one sentence, but
go for it.
Anytime. And so I think,
Yeah.
when we're thinking about helping to make our city.
If you had to describe the class of Y2K in one sentence, what would that be?
It's very different than the way
our
things
class.
Right.
I know, right?
right?
I think
Did your wife ask you that question before? Also? To give you some prep?
Let me tell you what my wife.
Right?
yeah,
It's
run on
comma,
sentence.
comma,
Yeah,
and commas, and
yeah.
commas. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Listen, this is the first ever VHS Press Rewind podcast. Thank you for joining us. Again, real quick introduction. My name is Gerald Mina, class of 2000, Vallejo Apache alumni. I'm joined with my two co-hosts over here.
Jeremy Geronimo, class of 2000.
And Wesley Smith, class of 2000.
Hey. Again, we're here just to kind of promote not only just our class reunion, but we're also here to kind of get back and give back to a special class. We were the Y2K class. We were a class that started in the millennium. And not only that, but we are also a group of Apaches that are also part of the community. Today, we're joined with none other of two pillars of the community.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm putting that out. You see how I'm laying that out? And we are blessed by your guys' presence today. But not only that, but just stellar individuals, good friends of ours, dear family of our Apache family. And again, first off, I just want to introduce, she was a student athlete at Vallejo High while still holding the school record in the long jump, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
All right. She was inducted into the Vallejo Hall of Fame and Sacramento City Hall of Fame. 2005 SEC champion at University of Arkansas in a pentathlon. Former special education math teacher. She was a vice principal at Vallejo High for 3 years. And now, you got it, the current principal of Vallejo High, entering her 8th year in school administration and 17th year in education. She has been married for 14 years, about to celebrate 15 next year, and she is a mom of 2. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Bianca McDowell.
Bianca.
All right.
Well, it's Marshall now, but
Yes.
I'll take
Yes.
Correction.
Get it right. And a gentleman that's going to go ahead and introduce himself because, he has the smile, he has the beard. Ladies and gentlemen, take it over.
So I wanted to introduce myself because once I read Bianca's introduction, I was like, you know what?
Really?
No, bro. No. Honestly, just an incredible life you've lived. And I think we can all say that's remarkable. So clap it up again for Miss Marshall.
Yes,
Miss Marshall.
Miss Marshall. Mrs. Marshall.
So I am Ricky Nutt, longtime Vallejoan. I live in Vallejo now. I've been married for 15 years. I have 3 beautiful children, a beautiful wife. I love living in Vallejo, getting a chance and an opportunity to see the family of so many of our fellow alumni. It's just been an incredible life so far. So I'm 43 now. I think we're all around the same age.
Yeah,
Around that same age.
We didn't really.
We're like, in 17 years, we're
math
going to
is
be
mathing.
60 years old. Oh, my God.
Why you got to do the math like that?
It gives me, it really, like, when I think about it, it gives me anxiety. But what I'll say most for me is just, like, I want to make sure that the next 43 of my years of my life, Lord willing, are better than the first 43. So I've been teaching for about 17 years now. I started my teaching career at Vallejo High School.
That's right.
Right now I work at Hogan Middle School. I'm currently the teacher leader there. I'm an author who hasn't written a book in 15, 16 years. So pray for me on that. I help to pastor a local congregation, but I really, at the end of the day, I have a passion to teach the Bible, to help people learn to read the scriptures for themselves and to see Jesus glorified. So that's me, Ricky Nutt. What's up, y'all?
All right.
Sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
And a little fact. So Ricky's son, Ricky Levi,
Yes.
and my son Solomon are really close
Best
friends. And it's so funny because we've never once coordinated this, like myself and Ricky's wife Gina.
Right.
But every Halloween, they seem to always have the same costume. And it's happened since they were
kidding.
like 2. One year, they both wore PJ Masks. Last year, they both were the aliens that's holding a human body. It's like the blow up one. And then, no, that was the year before last. Last year, they both chose to be characters from the anime Jujutsu Kaisen. And without talking to each other. And we showed up and we were like, oh, wait. So it's like every year it's interesting. So I don't know what they're going to be this year, but they always seem to like be in sync. It's crazy.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. And then now we have both of you guys here. So there's then that. we're just rekindling all of that. And again, before we start off, we also want to give a shout out to the Tycoons over here in Concord,
Tycoon Studio.
California. So we're live here in the studio. So again, give love, give shout out to the Tycoons for allowing us the space and this opportunity. Go for it.
Just to say, we appreciate the Tycoon Tactics for not allowing us to be here. This is an open podcast space. I'm going to do a quick ad. So it's an open podcast space. They gave us the luxury of doing it on this first one. You could definitely tap in with Angelo. Like I said, he's the owner of the business on this one right here. So looking to do a podcast or anything like that, touch base with us. You can figure something out. If you ever had any ideas or anything like that, we can coordinate and make sure something's going for you. So just a quick one so everybody in question who had the question has the opportunity.
Get it forward to that Tycoons.
All right.
Also sponsored by Summer.
Where's the black tape? Where's the black tape?
Right.
I don't know. Follow Tycoons on IG. The Tycoons _
There you go. All right. Well, again, we appreciate you taking the time. So first off, real quickly, tell us, what's your earliest memory of growing up in Vallejo?
I'm gonna go on this one because my wife asked me about it.
Did she really?
She did. I was like telling her some of the questions.
Yeah.
And my earliest memory is of me. I'm actually on a big wheel, riding down Corcoran in front of Solano Junior High. I was on my way. I think we were moving from College Park to the Cimarrons.
Yep.
Now, in my memory, I'm on that big wheel by myself, riding down the street. Ain't no way.
Right.
I mean, I know it was the 80s, but ain't no way. I was by myself, but that's like the earliest memory that I have of Vallejo.
I got that.
Oh my gosh. I think my earliest memory. So my paternal grandparents lived in South Vallejo on Sheridan Street.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I think that's like my earliest memory. I remember being like, oh gosh, probably like 5 or 6. And I remember my uncle like barbecuing in the front yard and like just a bunch of people being around and just out on the streets. And it was just like peaceful.
Right.
And fun, very fun.
Yes.
I remember like the elders, like elder folk, they probably was like 30 at that point.
Right.
Like looking
Younger
out
than
for
we are
us.
now.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember them like looking out for us. And
Yeah,
like it was really South Vallejo at that time was a really communal like space. Like everyone knew everyone. And so I remember not ever feeling unsafe because I knew someone knew me and knew like my family members.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Nah, and that's real. I mean, I guess community serving one another, it was something big back then. I mean, the fact that you could ride your big wheel outside
By myself.
by yourself.
Down the hill.
Add too, like, I think the juxtaposition of what we felt growing up is very different than the way things are now. And
Yeah.
I mean, I think our kids are resilient, so they figure out ways
For
to
sure.
to experience the community and enjoy it. But I think one of the challenges, and I don't want to jump too far ahead, but I think one of the challenges that we face as a community, for those of us who live in Vallejo, is just that feeling where it's not as safe as it used to be.
Right.
You know, there was always pockets where you'd be like,
Of
you know,
course.
I gotta make sure I don't hit the cut over here.
Yep,
You know, a certain
yep.
time. But it's, I mean, in Vallejo now, it's almost like anything can happen anywhere. And so
At any time.
at any time. And so I think, you know,
Yeah.
when we're thinking about helping to make our city better, we have to look at that. How can we make things safer for our children, for the next generation? You know.
Amen. So if you had to describe, I want to shift over here, talk about us real quick. If you had to describe the class of Y2K in one sentence, what would that be?
Did your wife ask you that question before? Also, to give you some prep.
Let me tell you what my wife said.
Gina.
Gina was like, oh man, we thought the world was going to end with your class. We came back. She was like, we came back after New Year's, just relieved that the world wasn't over. And I don't know. Here's what I'll say. I think at the time, I wasn't really tripping.
Yeah.
I wasn't really tripping. There was that kind of anxiety, but I just always felt like, everything's going to be okay.
For sure.
Everything's going to be okay. But, I think if I could describe our class in one sentence, I'll say it like this. When I look across this room and I see you guys and I look at Bianca and I think back and I think of good memories. Now, I know we didn't all have the same experiences, but I'm very proud to tell people that I went to Vallejo High School.
Same.
Because I feel like our class, the group of people that I grew up with, that they showed me love, that they were kind to me.
Yeah.
And I think that's important.
Yeah. Amen to that.
Goodness. Ooh, I have more than one sentence, but
Yeah, go for it. Go for
our
it.
class.
It's live.
Right.
I know, right?
right?
I think.
Such a two-paragraph.
Right?
Yeah,
It's
run on sentence.
comma,
Yeah,
and commas, and
yeah.
commas.
Our class was fun. We were filled with a lot of love for each other. And also we were like trailblazers.
Yes.
So those are the memories that come back when I think about our class.
For sure.
Yeah. But we definitely had fun. A lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
And I think even mainly some of the faculty probably will still continue to say that. Like, we stood out. Class of 2000 was poignant, not just in its number, but the fact that at certain moments we were the first. Yeah.
Let me add to that. So I think when I started teaching at Vallejo High, it might have been 2006, 2007. What year did you start teaching?
Just dropping bars.
She was like, I was born teaching.
I mean,
I came out the womb teaching lessons.
I just started walking.
Okay.
2007, 2008.
Got you.
I might have started teaching the same school year. But I was at Vallejo High, and I remember, so when I started teaching, Mr. Soroyan was still principal.
Yeah.
Mr. Soroyan was there, Mr. Cartwright, most of our teachers. I was sandwiched in between Miss Cheney and,
kidding.
dang, what's our hippie teacher's name? She wasn't really a hippie, but she was she was awesome too, though. Miss McCarthy.
Miss McCarthy.
Miss McCarthy.
Yes.
No disrespect. Is hippie
no disrespect.
disrespectful? Okay, no.
No.
She was very
It's not a
earthy.
derogatory
Yeah,
term.
earthy.
She was earthy, very just very pleasant.
Yes.
That was between her and Miss Cheney. And one of the things that they told me was they said that when our generation was very different.
Yeah.
So to say that there was something unique about our class, I think it's applicable because our teachers said that they noticed the difference when we left.
For sure. So, that being said, where do we spend most of our time after school?
After school?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
And where do you think the 2025 spot version of that is now for these kids?
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
you guys get to see it on both
Yeah.
ends. Both as a
So-
parent, both as an
Yeah.
educator, you know what I mean?
So for us, our class, the spot was the quad.
Yeah.
The
quad.
Right?
Yeah.
And the wall. Remember, we just called it the wall.
The wall.
We just hung on the wall. We went out there. They call it nutrition break now, but we went out there on break and we just stood on the wall and we just gathered there. And it was like in the grassy area. It was a gathering space.
Right.
And now, so I've been at Vallejo High since the 22-23 school year. There's some kids who hang in the quad. The quad is different now. There's tables and chairs and tents and things. We didn't have tents. We had to suffer in the heat.
We did.
So there's some kids. Yeah.
4 days now.
That
Yeah.
was back in the day. We were all still wearing towels on our
Wearing
head.
yes, towels on your head.
Towels around your neck.
So there's some kids who hang out there. There's some kids who hang out still in the quad, but like right in front of the library.
Yes.
Most of our student athletes, you will catch them in the locker room
Really?
inside of Batari Gym, hanging with the like athletic director or the football coaches or whatever. They just gather there. They're like not out in the open.
Interesting.
So the quad has become a different space.
Huh.
Yeah.
Which is also a trip because we were also one of the few classes that still had open.
Off-campus.
Open
Wow.
Yeah.
You can't trust these kids.
No, you
nowadays. No. Well, and
Do you
know what?
approve? Or
So, well, now they try to DoorDash, and we have to like take their DoorDashes and things like that.
They
It's-
DoorDash?
They DoorDash in high school, in middle school too.
Are
Yeah.
you kidding?
Yeah.
what is wrong with DoorDash, guys?
Right.
What's wrong?
Because it can possibly bring danger to the campus.
Yeah.
But a big difference between the kids now and us is when we were in high school, we were trying to take our driver's test as soon as we turned 16.
Exactly.
So you can get a
Amen.
car and you can drive and go
Amen.
get lunch,
Yep.
right?
Be back in time.
Most of these kids don't even have driver's licenses and are almost
That is
scared to
true.
drive. So
Yeah.
they'd rather have it delivered than to
Delivered.
go get it. But they have, it's closed campus, so they
Right.
can't. But that's
Still.
like a big, we
Interesting.
couldn't wait to
That's
turn
it.
16, take our driver's test, and drive our
Yeah,
friends
absolutely.
to Wendy's for the dollar menu,
In fairness, people in Vallejo drive crazy.
That is true.
That's obvious.
Hey, I mean, we say it is all in the Bay Area, but I'm telling you,
No, Vallejo has
hey, it's no serious. Like I remember, listen, before Elon started acting crazy, no, really, when I saw like promos for the Cybertruck, I was on the list. I was like, man, I'm living in Vallejo. I need a tank.
right.
No, like,
Right.
Yeah.
like no
For
joke,
for our safety.
Yes,
Yeah, for our
I'm like, man, no, it's real. So like, I think that might be part of it too. But then I think there is just this general malaise where our kids are kind of like lazy.
Yeah.
They don't feel like doing it.
Where they don't feel
A
inclined.
little bit. Let me ask this. So one thing that somebody brought up years ago to me, and I thought it was very true, was so when we were growing up, all the people that we know, not to say it disrespected who we were, but we knew all the people who was in all of the areas, so you feel a little safer because we're at that age, right? Like,
Right.
oh, that's woo-woo, that's wah-wah. So you're not thinking of the person. As you older, it's like, who is this kid over here? Who's standing over there now? That's the difference, I feel like.
Yeah.
As you get older, we start to progressively see maybe what grandparents or parents were thinking when they saw us during our age. Because we even,
Right.
Technically, we're the start of the hyphy movement if we're going to bring some Bay Area stuff into that.
That part.
But in theory, I think a lot of this is just us being on the outside looking in. I can agree. Each generation probably gets a little more active, if you will, right? They have different approaches to how they're going to, treat their teenage years. But I think honestly, when you look back, like we were half of the people, and we knew half of the people, so the
Exactly.
comfort level was a little different, you know. So yeah.
Well, I think there's also kind of like this general degradation of society that we see.
Yep.
And I think every civilization, every like advanced civilization has seen it, that when you reach this level of achievement, you start to degrade.
Oh, that's true.
And then it like you really see that in the children in the schools.
For sure.
And I mean, I know Bianca can speak more to it, but it's just seeing what our children are facing. Also, just the fact that they're so disconnected from each other because of the phone issue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that maybe one of the reasons why they don't congregate in the way that we used to. We were forced to interact
Yeah.
We didn't have-
because we didn't have, we didn't have,
we had breaks at best, right? Like-
right. So we had to talk to each other, and that changes the dynamic. So when you think of the advancement of technology, and again, it's achievement that sometimes lead to degradation because then it's stripping us away from our ability to connect, to communicate with each other, to be present in the moment. So I think these are things that you kind of see as the generations progress.
Yeah.
So would you then say that oftentimes, like, again, we even as, in our 40s, like, I can even say sometimes we have to rewire ourselves back to that holistic, to that more organic view of reunion and talking to one another in person, is because oftentimes we could also rely on social.
Right.
And not feel necessarily as connected. I mean, COVID was a good. I mean, that's a deeper issue, and we get into that. But again, the fact that we can sit here and really, commune one another, I think it's critical, right?
I'm gonna be honest right now. We gonna 2 honest moments. I had a lot of them, Two honest, right? That's it.
Too honest.
We got 13, 14. That's it. Like literally, seeing both of y'all right now in person after like not seeing y'all for years did take me back to like an unexpected like, oh, this is good to see the people, right? Just to see the people.
Yeah.
And so when you said that right there, it actually connected like a dot.
Right.
I was like, man, I was a little happy to see people I haven't seen for years, which is a good thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And you don't necessarily think about that when you're living your day-to-day life because you just assume, I can see people here, I can see them there.
Yeah.
When you actually see them, it changes the actual like thoughts that are going on and like, just your mental makeup of like, oh man, that's a happy feeling, right? These are people I've seen like all throughout these years, haven't seen them for a while, and just that reconnect is different in person.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
As opposed to a like and comment.
Yeah, like comment, hard to thumbs up unnecessarily.
Well, let me add to that. I know Bianca can speak to it.
Yeah.
We see people a lot,
Yeah.
and it's not always in a good light.
Sure.
Like, we see some people who are, still here, but they're in the gutter, so to speak.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And then we see their kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and there's somebody in one of our classmates, 2000.
yeah.
His son was my student. And I think, I asked his son, like, how's your dad doing? And he said, oh, Dad's doing well. I saw your dad on the street the other day,
Yeah.
walking like a zombie.
That's tough.
So I think, to your point, like, relationship is so important
Critical.
because we have the ability, the capacity to be able to influence each other's lives in a positive way.
right.
So I think that's one of the things I really try to impress upon my students is that, like, because I'm middle school, so 7th grade, I tell them in 5 to 6 years, you're going to be making adult decisions.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you don't start to make the right decisions, life is going to catch up with you.
That's right.
So it's just so important. Like, we see, and when I see people, it's as I've gotten older, I've become less judgmental. I feel like,
Sure. Same.
No, true. That's fact. Yeah, that's fact.
because I understand it's very difficult to make good decisions.
Yeah.
It's easy to make poor decisions.
That's right.
And then and we don't all start. It's almost like if you're in a race, everybody's not starting from the same straight line.
Exactly.
We know. And so you have to give people grace, but at the same time understand the importance of relationship and being present.
Young, you want to add to that?
No.
Yeah.
You said it all.
You said it all. No, that's great. Again, going from full circle, from student now to leader. What's it like going through and, going from walking the halls and now guiding students? I mean, you kind of touched basis on it just a minute ago, but like, how does it actually feel, or how's it been, also being, an educator, being part of the community, being so resonant to our community of Vallejo? How does that feel now to be on the other side?
Wow. It feels really good.
Yeah.
It's so like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Every year I'm like, this is so weird, but it's normal, right? Like, we'll get a kid at the school and I'm like, what's your last name? Wait, I think I know your people. Is your mama such a such? And they'll be like, well, that's my auntie. And I'm like, oh, okay. So many kids on the campus, like,
Yeah.
are relatives of folks we went to school with, right? And once the kids discover it, there's a different connection. On my work bed, I don't have it with me. On one side, it says my name. On the other side, it says, hey, auntie, because I've just become auntie. Kids are like, my mama says she know you, so you my auntie now. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, But building those connections, it really makes it easy to, like, get to the kids.
That's good.
And I'm at high school, right? So I can talk to them a little different.
course.
I could tell them, like, that's real stank. I'm gonna need you to get it together.
Thank you.
And they know what I mean because it comes
Yep.
from a place of love.
That's right.
And it makes me think of, like, teachers that I had at Vallejo High, specifically Deborah Cheney. She would
Ah,
tell you when
there
you
it
are
is.
acting stank and get it
Yes.
together.
Get
She
it
didn't say
together.
it like that,
Yep.
but that's what she was saying, right?
Right.
Or even, the beloved Vernetta Northcutt. She would check you in a minute.
In the
right?
hallway.
In the hallway.
In front of everyone.
In
she
front
saw
of
you.
everyone. And it's crazy,
Bless their
and
heart.
maybe you can speak to this too. That's what some kids need. Like, they thrive off of getting checked all the time.
Yeah.
And it makes me go, like, why I got to talk to you like this for you to, like, get
Yep.
it? Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? But it feels really good, and it was weird for me too because when I first started at Vallejo High, Mr. Moreno was still teaching at Vallejo High.
That's right.
And he just retired.
Just retired. Yep.
And then I don't know if you guys remember Mr. Malley.
Malley.
He's still teaching.
Oh, wow.
Yes, he is still at Vallejo High.
Nice.
Yeah. And
Shout
then
out Mr.
Miss
Malley.
Chavez, I don't know if you guys remember Miss Chavez. She taught English, but I think she taught like 10th grade English our senior year. But it's kind of weird being their bosses. Like you were my teacher and now I'm your boss.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, you know what I mean? But it feels good. I have fun every day. I don't go to school in heels or anything.
Right.
I'm in sneakers and I'm rocking with the kids and we're dancing and doing, you know, all kind of things. It feels good. Like once you build the connection with these kids, because these kids are about connection.
That's it.
Whether it's on social media or in real life, once you build the connection with them, you got them.
You know what just hit me when you were talking about
Yeah.
that? It's exactly what you just mentioned in the previous part of the conversation. How we had the community to serve us and would be able to keep us accountable.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That is a form of watching. That's a form of, you know, coaching and tutoring and mentoring.
Right.
You know, because, we were all kids
Yeah.
running amok.
Running them out.
That's awesome.
Now I think back to when I first started, and like I said, I was sandwiched between Miss McCarthy and Miss Cheney.
Right.
And so Mr. Wilson was also there.
Oh.
And Mr. Wilson, he doesn't have a ponytail ananymore, guys.
What? He cut it off?
He cut it off like 10 years ago.
No, he has a ponytail back.
He got it back.
Bruce?
My boy got it back.
Bruce.
Bring it back.
Bruce.
Bruce.
Hey, Bruce.
And the glasses. Okay. So when I first started working there, all these teachers, man, I'm walking down the halls. I'm like, hey, Mr. Wilson. And he walks up to me. He said, listen, Ricky. Mr. Wilson? Listen.
Do the voice. Do the voice.
Ricky, listen. I wish I had the glasses on and everything. Listen, Ricky. Listen. We're colleagues now. You don't have to it's Bruce. It's Bruce. And I'm like, okay, Mr. Wilson, thank you very much. It's just like, but I think that like our generation, we have that sense of respect where it's just like, you know, I may be working with you, but I respect you.
Yeah.
Like you were my teacher, you were my elder. And so transitioning from student to colleague, that was strange.
For sure.
That was strange. But I truly believe that in the moment when I stepped in, that was absolutely what God wanted me to do. You know, and it's even now as I look back, 17 years almost it's been.
Yep.
As I look back and I think about the impact, and I'm so grateful that I said yes.
Yeah.
That I stepped in when I did, and like I can't imagine living my life any other way.
I love that.
But I will say that to Bianca's point about connecting with people in the community, before I started working at Vallejo High, I subbed for 2 weeks. I subbed one day at Franklin Middle, and then for 2 weeks I worked at Hogan when it was still a high school.
Okay.
And then I think you guys remember Foster Hicks?
Yes.
Yeah. So Foster Hicks, he was out on extended illness at the time, so I subbed for him for 2 weeks. And I remember going to, I think I was like Sally Beauty Spot. I think I was getting some like sporting waves or something. And this girl walks out of the store. I don't know if it was the Rainbow or something. And she looks at me and she's like, Mr. Nutt? She said, I've never seen a teacher outside of school before. And then I thought about it.
That's like a true though. Like,
Nice.
And I was like,
Yeah.
dang, I don't ever remember seeing
Right.
any of my teachers outside of school, unless, you know, it was in a game or something.
For sure.
But not just like at the grocery store. So when I tell people it's really beautiful about what we do, actually living in the community that I serve,
Yeah.
it makes such a huge impact. Like
Absolutely.
I see on the regular.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you know, my dad was a counselor for a long time.
Of course.
So when I was little, I'll be with him, and we're gonna run into somebody. And he's gonna talk to them for 20 minutes, and now I'm the one. I hold my kids out. They be like, "Daddy, oh my God, you keep talking." But there's so much joy in that.
Yeah.
But it definitely helps to position you for purpose to be able to impact these kids.
And wow.
So I think there's a sense in which this generation is kind of desensitized to softness.
Yes. Yeah.
Because they're so conditioned for the harshness. And there are moments where you have to be able to break through that
Yep.
in order to be soft again and say, I don't want to go this route. I can if you want to. If
Right.
you want
If you
to
wanna go this route, yeah.
I can, as the Bible says, I can meet a fool according to their folly, so that they won't look wise in their own eyes. You know, I
Say
can
it.
do that.
Right.
And then use that moment to try to bring correction and say, hey, listen. This is what I tell kids, and those of you who have been to Vallejo for a while, you will notice. And Bianca, she don't watch. If you don't start making good decisions in the next 4 or 5 years,
Yeah.
I'm gonna see you in the newspaper debt. I'm gonna see you in jail, or I'm gonna see you walking down Sonoma Boulevard.
That's right. That's right.
That's
Bottom line.
it. Like,
Yeah, that's it.
that's real.
Yeah.
And every year, almost the last 3 or 4 years, I've had a former student, whether it was from Franklin or Hogan, somebody either got shot or killed or arrested. It's our kids they got to make better decisions.
For sure.
And they're relying on us to give them that wisdom and impart that so that they can make the right choices.
Yeah. You know, you guys touched on really strong points. Again, just being passionate about what you do. And that's the part that's so enlightening about the scenario. Was there any special moment with a student? We don't drop names, but, you know, a proud moment that you experienced during your career where, like, no, this moment really kind of reinforced why I'm doing what I'm doing?
So I have that special moment every year, and it's
Yeah.
called graduation.
Yes. Yes.
And it's always the moment where the kids are like crying and they're like, I'm gonna miss you. And like, you know, we tell them all school year, like, you don't like me now, but you're gonna be crying at graduation. They're no, I'm not. And just every graduation, there's the criers.
Yes,
And then there's
yes.
the parents who are like, thank you for staying on top of my kid. Like, thank you. And that's what I do the work for.
Yeah.
I don't do it for the thank you. Of
course.
I do it for that moment, right? Where I'm just like, okay, wow. Like,
They did.
they
it.
did it.
it.
So it's graduation for me
For sure.
every year, like clockwork. I'm crying. The kids are crying. We're just a crying mess. And, you know, and it feels good too, like
Yeah.
to get invited to the graduation parties. I don't go to all of them now,
I was going to say.
but I do get invited.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So because I work at the middle school, and I only worked at the high school probably for like 4 to 5 years. The first 2 years were I was a teacher of record, and then those next 2 years I was really trying to figure out, is this what I want to do with my life? Because this is crazy. These kids are crazy.
Yeah.
And then eventually I transitioned to middle school, and for me that's my sweet spot.
Yeah.
And part of the difference is like Miss Marshall is dealing with students who are more mature.
Right.
So there's moments where she gets to experience the sweetness of that, like almost immediately.
Yeah.
I gotta wait for my kids to be mature enough to reflect. Usually, sometimes a kid will be like, you know what, Mr. Nutt, thank you so much for what you did. I'll be like, see, look at God.
Yeah.
But then for most of them, I have to wait for them to mature, because even the difference between a kid from 7th grade to 8th grade is really significant in terms of their maturity, their ability to process and think about what they're going to be doing in their futures. So it's different. So for me, as I look back, during the pandemic, I had a student, she sent me a message, and she was my student like 2 or 3 years before a pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And every day, this kid, she was just like, I don't know if she was emo. She was just very dark in terms of her countenance. And I would check on her every day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, girl, how you doing? She would look at me. Most days, she would roll her eyes at me. And I was
Okay.
like, it's like whatever.
All right.
I'm usually like, if you acting crazy toward me, there's something wrong with you.
You got problems.
Because I'm pretty nice. So I'm like, I just tell myself, I'm like, she tripping today.
It's not me. For
It
sure.
can't be me, right? It can't be me. I mean, sometimes it probably is me, but it can't be me. In that moment, I was like, nah, man.
Yeah.
And so, I would always try to talk to her, find different ways to connect with her. Like one day, she had like 666 written on her on the back of her hand.
Oh.
So I tried to use some Bible knowledge. I was like, in some transcripts of the Bible or some manuscripts, 666 is sometimes rendered 616. She was like, oh my God, I can't believe you know that. Yeah, I know some evil stuff. I mean, I was like, how can I connect? Let me figure out the most evil thing I can tell you. Yeah, here's some evil stuff I can share with you. But I tried to connect, and she really would just like shut me down.
Yeah.
But I understood. I'm like, man, this is why I'm here.
Right.
I'm here to teach you content, but at the end of the day, God sent me here to make a difference in your life.
That's right.
So I got to make sure like you're okay. So the whole year she did it the same way. She sends me a message in the pandemic and she says, Mr. Nutt, I just want you to know, and it's like 2-3 years later, I want you to know, I hope you remember me, but I want you to know that every time that you checked on me, that was important to me because nobody at home was checking on me. And she said, I know that I acted like it didn't matter to me.
Yeah.
She said, but it mattered very much.
Wow.
And so, and then
incredible.
she was like, me, and then Victoria Grace, who's like, she's a Vallejoan. She's got family in town too. The girl said, if it wasn't for you and Miss Grace, probably wouldn't have made it through middle school.
Wow.
So that moment
We're
right
talking
there.
middle school.
It's
You know what I
middle
mean?
school, bro. Like,
So just keep that.
it's
in
middle
mind.
school. And
Yeah.
even like at Hogan a few years ago, we ended up having a student that took her own life. It's middle schoolers, they hurt too.
Yeah.
And so, it's really important for us to be really committed to the work
course.
and committed to the kids.
Of course.
It's tough.
Of course. And kind of going into that, perfect segue to it. Just want to give also a little bit more context of not only just of us, me, Jeremy, and Wesley here, but again, as alumni, this reunion is also about a nonprofit that is spurned under this, and we're building from this. And so we have already created a nonprofit organization, and now it's our opportunity to kind of put back, to this community, which we're serving. So let me ask you, why do you think it's important to create a nonprofit for Vallejo? I'm just going to throw it out to you guys. Why do you think it would be important at this time?
I think a nonprofit is an investment into the students and into the community as well. A lot of times we can feel like what we do doesn't matter, not knowing on the other side those little nuggets matter to kids. So I think it's an investment, and it's always good to invest in the community that raised you, the community that brought you up. Right. And also to show the current kiddos, like, this is what we're about. This is what Vallejo is about.
Right.
Right now in the city of Vallejo, we have a lot of transplants in the city of Vallejo. So we have a lot of folks from like Richmond, on the other side
East
of the
Bay,
Carquinez.
Pittsburgh,
East Bay transplants, because Vallejo was like cheaper living. And so it's really to show like, this is what Vallejo is about and should be about, and just bringing that back. So I think it's really important to invest in Vallejo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, those are really good points. And I think part of the challenge too, as we had people coming in to town, we didn't necessarily have the culture to be able to, as people came in, they would assimilate to Vallejo culture.
Right.
So our city really kind of just became conformed to the image of whoever came. And so, and I think part of that is because maybe it was thinking about probably like when Mare Island closed.
Sure.
Just the transition of the
Sure.
city. Because what year was that? 94, 95 when they shut?
Yes.
Yeah, so a few years before we would become adults,
Right.
the city that we love would really begin to change because it really start to feel that impact
Right.
financially, socially. And so we just didn't have the culture to be able to sustain the beauty of Vallejo that we had.
right.
So, and then after that, when you're thinking about all the people that have left town, and this is not to say like, oh man, why'd you guys all leave Vallejo? He's like, hey man, no, listen.
I was gonna say, like,
man,
yeah.
man, look,
We're not talking about you.
I got a house in Vallejo.
you gotta stay
mean, my
loyal to the
family's still
soil.
there.
Rented it out.
I be seeing West be sliding through. Okay, I stay in Rancho now. I be seeing West slide through. I ain't gonna say the address. I know where he stayed though, but I know where his papa lived. But and so that's not to say. I mean, like we've all been taken different places.
Yeah.
But it's so important to remember how important we are to the city that raised us.
Right.
The kids that are here now, they need direction, they need mentorship, they need guidance, and they respond incredibly well to people in our generation. I'm gonna tell you like this: when I came in and started teaching, I mean that first year was rough, just because I had to figure out the curriculum. There's a lot of things that I had to figure out. I had to figure out who I was going to be as a teacher, what my disposition was going to be. Once I figured that out, it was just like, kind of rolling. And the kids, the way they responded to me, it's what just, it helped me to stick. Yeah. They make it easy on me, and partly because they vibe with me. Yeah. And it's they look, for the Filipino, I'm the kuya,
Right,
kuya,
right.
But it's just, you got to understand how important we are and how impactful our generation can be. I had a student, I buy cookies from her now for our parties. I think she's going to 10th grade this year. Okay. And I asked her mom brought her by the house to deliver some cookies. And I asked her, how's high school going? Yeah. And she had this very sober look. She looked at me and she said, it's everything you said it was gonna be. and not in a good way. Like it was like, it's like almost like she realized, she's like, man, Mr. Nutt, you were absolutely right. You tried to let me know.
Yeah.
And so there's so much that we can do by being present, by being intentional. So having a nonprofit definitely will give you the opportunity to influence this generation. Because if we can help transform our schools, there's other parts of the city that have to be improved as far as safety, beautification, a lot of things. But man, if we can improve our schools, then we'll begin to attract new families.
That's right.
Because that was one thing, like after Mare Island shut down, fiscally, we faced a lot of challenges. Now young families don't want to come to Vallejo.
That's right.
And those who can move out, they move out. And if they can't move out, they just send their kids out to different schools. So it's a lot. There's a lot that goes into it. But
there's a lot of complexities, I'm sure.
Yeah, you can't minimize the importance of your impact and your presence.
Right. If I were to say, okay, Rick, I heard that. Bianca, I heard that. This is great. Gerald, Wes, Jeremy, this is all great. I want to give. Where should I start? Where do you think would be an area that you think, you know what, they really should start in this area? What would be a key,
What part of the community?
Yeah.
Like what section?
Obviously, you mentioned focusing on the youth.
That's a good question.